A quick side note before we jump into this week's episode, I would like to thank our sponsor, Squarespace. From websites to online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to design a beautiful online presence and run your business. But honestly, just on a quick side note, a company that supports creators is a company that I support. So let's jump into this week's episode. Guys, I need your help. Does this shot look better without a light or with a light? Without a light, with a light. Without a light, with a light. See, without a light, it's very moody. Kind of feels like a Netflix drama series like, who changed the aperture? Who changed the shutter speed? Let's find out on Camera Killers. But with a light, it feels very bright, happy, like a normal YouTube video. I think based on the tone of this week's episode, I'm gonna keep the light on. What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Howe, and on this week's episode, we're gonna be talking about the big trend, minimalism, and how it benefited our business. Now, to give you some more context, I own a photography and videography agency with my fiance, Lizzie Pierce. And we found over the years, by simplifying our business and cutting down in certain areas, we've actually doubled our profits. There's channels like Matt Diavella and Craig Adams that talk about this in terms of their lifestyle, but no one's really focusing on the business aspects. And I think this could be a huge win for everybody at home. So let's jump into this week's episode. Woo! So the first tip in terms of making more money, which is gonna sound a little backwards, is actually less clients. Now, a few years ago, we were saying yes to every single project, and at some point, we couldn't fulfill all the orders. It was just too much going on. But what we really found is that there was only a handful of clients that were actually bringing in the most revenue for us. So what we did is we started to cut out the smaller projects and the smaller clients and really focus on the big wins. And in that case, we could take on more bigger projects and make the bigger clients happier by doing this. So it's kind of like the 80-20 rule. Have 80% of your clients be the big high-end ones, and then 20% of them be like some of the smaller projects where you can experiment, be more creative. And that's where we've really struck a really fine balance in terms of making a lot of money, but also being happy creatively. So less clients actually equals more money because you can make your bigger clients that provide more value and more opportunity and revenue for you. You can focus on those ones, really kill it there, and then have the 20% of them really be your creative outlet so that you have a nice, well-rounded portfolio in your business. Number 2, less gear. I'm sorry for all the gearheads out there, and I know that a lot of you guys actually know that I have a lot of gear, but this has also been acquired over the last couple years. But the reality is I don't actually use all my gear all the time. I would say I really only use my Sony A9, a handful of lenses, a few pieces of lighting, and an audio kit the majority of the time. But we have things like client monitors that we've actually used twice, and I spent about $2,000 on that. So that's about $1,000 per gig. And that actually could have been rented out for $50 to $100, which actually would have only been $200. So I could have saved $1,800 if I had just been smart with it. So again, kind of like the client situation, focus on the gear that you actually use. And if you have other pieces you haven't used in a year, sell them, get some money for them. And if you actually need them, either rent them or hire somebody in your business that comes with a kit that when they come out on set for a video shoot or a photo shoot, they just bring that gear with them so that you guys don't have this acquisition that's losing money over the next couple of years. So yes, less gear is actually better for your business. All right, the next point is a super simple and clean website. Less is more is gonna be your main focus for building a website. So in my case, when we're hiring a photographer or a videographer for a project, I'm actually looking for a few things. Number 1 is to build trust. Does their website show some examples that actually applies to what we're trying to hire for? And number 2, what clients have they worked for? We do a lot of work with the company in Mercedes-Benz. The moment that logo was on the front page of our website, it made it much easier to sell into other projects. I actually remember listening to a podcast one time where there was this guy who owns a creative agency with about 30 employees. And he said one day he just kind of stripped everything from their website, just had one landing page with just the logos of the clients that they've worked with and the name of their company. And they actually landed more jobs and had more inquiries. The whole mentality around this is that if your work is good enough for companies like Mercedes-Benz, Corona, Nike, or any big company, the work that you're gonna do for this other company is gonna be just as good. So yes, if you have approval from a big company, it's gonna look good on you and help build trust for future projects. Another thing that helps build trust when people land on your website and are making a decision within the first 10 to 15 seconds is a good, simple design. Now, this is where our sponsor Squarespace comes into play. They have designer templates. I've actually used this website. I've built a website with Squarespace. It actually took me 2 hours to build a website called chrishousehair.com. Yes, legitimately, it's a real thing, chrishousehair.com. Took me 2 hours to build, and I had never used the website before. So it's super easy to navigate and pretty easy once you pick a template to just slot in different things, and you have a good website that, in my opinion, I was trying to sell my hair, would actually sell my hair as a model. A quick note on Squarespace too, you can do everything all in one. When we first built our website, we had to get our domain from like one service, our hosting from another service, our design by like a friend of mine, and a template that we purchased from like another website. So that's 4 websites and 4 individual vendors to build one single thing. Talking about minimalism and how it applies to this video, it's kind of nice when everything ties together in one place. So Squarespace does that. You can get your domain, you have designer templates, you can design it yourself to sign in. All those things are in one place versus like having to combine multiple vendors and multiple things together so you have your final website, have everything in one area versus like 100 vendors. All right, our next tip is less overhead. Businesses cost money to run. There's a lot of line items per month that's gonna cost you. So if you can cut down on those, you're actually gonna save money and make more money. The first one is, do you need an office space? In most cases, especially today, no. We do a lot of our business over the phone, or we can go rent a room or go meet at a coffee shop with a client if we need to meet face to face. But most of the time, probably 95% of the time, we don't meet our clients face to face anymore. So what I would recommend is either work from home, work from a coffee shop, or check out if your library has little work study areas that you can work from. Actually, our Toronto Public Library has computers like iMacs that have Premiere Pro, After Effects, and all these other things that you can just go in and work. So if you just schedule it in for free, you can go work from the library and spend less money on an office space. In our case, we work from home, which is also a win-win scenario because we don't have to pay for a space. And number 2, from an accounting perspective, we can actually write off a portion of our home. Ultimately, every business is different and there's gonna be month-to-month costs. What I would recommend is that you go through all your month-to-month costs and everything that you're spending money on and really pay attention if it's giving you a return on your investment. If it is, keep it. If not, start to phase it out of your business so that you actually get to keep that money instead of spending it. The next point is on social media and marketing. You guys don't need to be on every single platform. Trust me, pick the big wins. So if you found that you're getting business from Instagram, YouTube, Google+, I think they got rid of Google+. Whatever social media you're on, you're actually finding that there's a return on investment. Focus your time there. Stop wasting your time trying to be on every website. For us, we focus on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and email marketing. Side note, this also applies to Squarespace too. They have built-in email marketing you can apply to your website so you can send out mass emails to your clients or to people who are visiting your website. My next point is to specialize. Don't be the jack of all trades. In this case, make your company specialize in one area, especially at the beginning before you start saying that you can take on every single project. Do you ever go to like a restaurant and they have like everything on the menu and it's kind of like overwhelming? You're like, I don't even really know why I'm here. But then you go to like a specialty store that only does like pulled pork really, really well. And you're like, this is the best pulled pork I've ever had. So take that mentality for your business. So when I first started my business, I found a specialty and a niche in government videos in the Canadian space. I know it's very specific, but no one else was really making high quality government videos at the time. When we went all in on that, we started getting hired by everybody and we worked our way to the top of the government video sphere very, very quickly. From there, once we had established enough revenue from the government space, we started to branch out into other areas. But at the beginning, we focused on a single niche that was actually making us money and really building our name very quickly. Focus on one area that you really see that is lacking in like good quality content and crush it in that area. And I promise you, your name will spread like wildfire. And then each quarter, you're gonna be making more money because you're gonna be the best in that industry. All right, guys, that is it. Those are all my points in terms of how to double the profits in your photography or videography business by keeping minimalism in mind. I talk in far more detail on how to design a website that actually makes you more money in the link here. I'll also link it in the description below. And I actually talk a lot more about the niche in my background in terms of the government video perspective, and the link right here and the link below there. And on that note, guys, I would like to thank our sponsor for this week's episode, which is Squarespace. If you guys want to check out a free trial, head over to squarespace.com. And when you guys are ready to launch your website or domain, head over to squarespace.com/thechrishowe, which is also linked in the description below, to save 10% on your next website or domain. And if you guys saw some value in this video, please press like. It actually makes a difference. I kind of want to change up my end screen tagline, so if you guys want to leave some suggestions below, I'll be considering them for my next video. Subscribe, would love for you to join along, and make sure you hit the bell to be notified for future videos, because there'll be a lot more value add coming at you, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Love you lots. On this week's episode of Making a Camera Killer, we talked to Joe Shutter and how he got his last name, and why he doesn't want anybody else to have a shutter speed of 1/200. Oh, this coffee's so cold now. Ugh.